back to another episode of Books and Banter. I'm Coral.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Hailey.
So, as you may have noticed, we have a new friend with us today. And that is because today we're talking about the Intermediate Sequoyah books, the book list. And Hailey here was on the committee that picked the books for that book list. So obviously we had to invite Hailey, and we're going to let them talk a little bit about what Sequoyah is.
Yes, so there are 3 Sequoyah book lists. There is a children's list, intermediate list, and high school list. And groups of librarians from across the state are selected for a team. They read hundreds and hundreds of books, narrow it down to 15 for the master list that we present to the students. And then students of that age range will read the books, vote on their favorite, and then that winner is announced at the annual Oklahoma Library Association conference each year. And it's a lot of fun. Lots of awesome books to read.
Yeah, it's super fun. You read a lot of books, and now the kids get to do their job and read their 3 books. But we're each going to talk about one of those books today, so I'm going to hand it off to Jamie. What did you read?
I read Ruin Road by Lamar Giles. This is a horror story, which I have not read a lot of lately, so it was a nice change of pace. Plus, we're coming up into fall and spooky season, so this would be a really good read for that. It's about a boy named Cade. He is a star football player. He goes to a nice little posh, private school, and he has dreams of going into the NFL. But he also has a lot of hardships, so he's very focused and he is driven. He's going to do this, but he does have a lot of hardships. So while he goes to a nice school, he actually lives in a really poor neighborhood. So he's kind of straddling two worlds and doesn't really feel like he fits in either world. His dad is dying of cancer, so that's obviously a huge hardship. And so he also has another problem in that people are really scared of him. He's a big guy, he's black, so he kind of struggles with this perception that people have of him. And so one night there is a misunderstanding that leads to him running from the police. He ducks into a pawn shop. He meets the pawn shop owner, and he finds this really cool Super Bowl ring that is very cheap, so he buys it. And then as he's talking to the pawn shop owner, he wishes out loud that he wishes people would stop being afraid of him. And that wish comes true. And at first, it seems really cool because, nobody's afraid of him. But it turns out that it's leading people to not be afraid of anything, which could lead to some dangerous consequences. And I thought this was a really good horror story. It was very creepy. I don't want to say too much about where it goes from there with all these people not being afraid of anything. I think Cade is a really well-developed character. I liked his family. He has a younger sister, and he really cares about her and really looks out for her. And so it was just a nice family dynamic. I could picture this as a movie. As I was reading this, I felt like it would make a really good movie. I think if you are a fan of authors like Tiffany Jackson, you will enjoy this. So check it out. It is available in print, e-audio, and e-book on both Libby and Hoopla. So you've got a lot of options with this one. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, what did you read?
I read Sky's End by Mark J. Gregson. This is a science fiction, maybe a touch of fantasy in there, story. And this follows Conrad. And Conrad lives in a society that's a meritocracy. So that means everyone is constantly competing with each other to see who is going to be on top. So there's a lot of infighting, there's a lot of changing of social status all the time. And Conrad used to be the son of a duke. So he was very wealthy, he lived top of the life, but unfortunately his father has died, maybe mysteriously, we'll see, and now his uncle is the duke, and his uncle has cast Conrad to the lows. He's living with the poorest of the poors, which maybe Conrad, he's frustrated, but he may be okay with it. But his uncle kept his sister, and so he no longer has contact with his sister, and he's desperate to see her again. There's 2 ways to move up in this society. There's a dueling kind of circuit where you can duel people to move up, but that is it changes all the time. You can easily fall down. Plus, Conrad isn't exactly eating well. He's not really living his best life, and he knows that he isn't going to do well in that. The other way to move up is by joining one of the trades. And if you join one of the trades, then you can kind of move up internally there. So he, joins, and he is selected to be a hunter. And what are they hunting? They are hunting giant sky behemoth monsters, which is where this story gets really fun because he has now joined the hunters. It's the most dangerous of the trades. They are in these ships and they are hunting these giant monsters, and all the rookies have to do something called the gauntlet, which is basically where 6 rookies are put in a ship and sent out into space and they say, good luck, kill some behemoths. And there's this internal ship politics, there's the danger of the behemoths, plus there's some corruption just going on in their world in general. So Conrad is going through a lot. It's really, really, really fast-paced. So much happens in this book. It definitely feels like a book that's going to be a movie soon. So this is one of those things where it's going to be a big movie, so you should jump in on this now and get ahead of all your friends and be like, actually, I found this first. The second book is already out, and then the third book is coming out in January of next year. So get ahead of it, get ready for 2026 and the conclusion of this trilogy. But it's really fun, and this book actually is very special because it's both on the intermediate and on the high school list. So if maybe you've got some kids in those age range, or maybe you just also want to read it because it's a really great book, you can have your own little internal book club and read this one. It's a lot of fun. It's available in print, on ebook and e-audio on Libby, and we also have a book discussion kit on it. So if you have a group of teens in your life that want to read this book, you could check out the book kit from us. But yeah, what was your favorite on the list, Hailey?
So my favorite book that I read the entire year that I was on Intermediate Sequoyah is Murray Out of Water by Taylor Tracy. So Murray loves living by the ocean, and she loves practicing her ocean magic. But after a hurricane hits, she and her family are forced to move further inland and stay with an aunt and uncle. And Murray's never been away from the water so long, and so she's really struggling with that. And the longer that she's away, the more that her magic starts to fade. But then there are also some good things about living with this family. Her aunt and uncle are very accepting. They never tell her that she needs to act like a lady or wear more dresses like her mom always does. And she's able to reconnect with her older brother who went to college and cut off the family. And she even meets a new friend who has a magic of his own. And they decide that they are going to team up and figure out how to get Murray's magic back. And as she gets closer to one of her non-binary cousins, she just feels more at ease and more comfortable in her own skin. And so this is a really great novel in verse about found family, power of friendship, finding the magic within yourself, and it's just really about Murray finding their identity and really accepting that. And I think it's really written just so beautifully in verse. I feel it's really authentic. Reading this journey of a non-binary kid, reading it as a non-binary adult, I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I just loved it so much. And it is available in print and ebook and e-audio on Libby and Hoopla.
Nice. All right, well, hopefully one of these titles will sound interesting to you, but if not, we have lots of other stuff in the library, lots of other titles on the Sequoyah list, so check those out and see if there's something you want to read. But just be aware, to always check your content warnings. We all enjoy these books, but they may not be the right fit for you. So just be sure and check those out. If you need help finding a book, come talk to one of your local librarians. We'd be happy to help you find something. You could also check out other videos on our channel. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye.